Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing real estate contracts here in Thailand. And for those who are unaware, we're talking about a contract or an agreement between two parties for the purchase or conveyancing of property. Now, you could be talking about this in the context, for example, of a Thai condo, Thai sale and purchase agreement of maybe a villa or a house, depending on the context. That may or may not be possible. You could also be talking about it in the context of land, okay? And the reason I'm bringing this up is a lot of foreigners they have a lot of presumptions regarding, well, I should say they bring their presumptions from wherever they're from regarding their legal system. They bring those presumptions into Thailand and think that that applies to Thailand. And oftentimes, in very significant ways, that may not be the case. In a more specific context to this video, a recent article from the Phuket News, that's the PhuketNews.com, kind of brought this whole issue to the forefront of my mind. That article is titled, Real Estate Market in Phuket, Pros and Cons. And I urge folks to go check out that article or on their website, again, the PhuketNews.com, because it's very insightful. There's a lot in there. But this particular excerpt kind of brought this to, brought it to the forefront of my mind, and I thought I'd make a video. Quoting directly, it certainly is possible to purchase property in Thailand without the assistance of a lawyer, but you must not do it. I'm quoting directly. Maybe must should be should. It's certainly possible to do it. Must is maybe said a little bit too assertively, but I understand the context they were saying it in. Quoting further, Thailand is a country with a completely different language, culture, and legal system, and Thai contracts can differ a lot from Western contracts. That's very true. Quoting further, it is extremely important to work with a local lawyer who knows the rules to play by to avoid misunderstanding and deliberate rip-offs. Make sure the law company you pick has a good reputation. Nothing could be further from the truth. Again, that's the PhuketNews.com. It's a really good article. A lot of insight in there, and that's just one of many insights in a really deep article here. I would add a further comment on this, talking about, for example, in a real estate contract, although most people don't think this is necessarily possible, unfortunately, Thailand has a little bit less regulated system to combat some of these kind of more blatant types of fraud. But just one example in having attorney assistance and due diligence is things like a property title search to ascertain the actual name of the owner of the property in order to ensure that that person's name is actually on the real estate contract. It's not someone else, it's not some company that's not actually on the title of the property. This can be extremely important. Again, it's going to depend on context. There may be certain rights that may be assigned over to a third party, but you've got to do your due diligence and ascertain whether or not you're actually buying what you believe you're buying. And I know that that seems a little bit alarmist, especially to those probably in a Western context. But yes, unfortunately, Thailand has a very different legal system. And unfortunately, there are some bad actors out there who do look to kind of scam unsuspecting foreigners here. It's not all that common, but it can happen. And for this reason, it's a good idea to try and mitigate that possible harm by, in my opinion, seeking the assistance of competent legal professionals in order to gain some insight and guidance into how best to proceed.